Breaking news right now in the Eric Garner case. A grand jury has reached a decision. In that case, the jurors have decided not to indict Officer Daniel Pantaleo in the death of the Staten Island father. That means the officer will not be facing charges in the alleged illegal chokehold death.
He is not being indicted, and now the city braces to see what comes next.
Tonight, we were questioning whether or not this indictment was going to actually happen and be announced today, because the Rockefeller tree lighting ceremony is going on, and there are a lot of calls on Twitter right now to shut it down, to protest it.
Eric Garner's mother is very emotional right now. I just got off the phone with his sister, and she was in tears.
The fight for justice continues from this day.
We actually just got the official statement. We told you a while ago we were quoting sources in this case, but we did get the statement from the Richmond County District Attorney.
One woman who was walking here along the sidewalk minutes ago said to me they killed him twice, in reference to what took place, in her words, back in July, and then obviously the decision here today.
This is a statement from Officer Daniel Pantaleo, who was not indicted. It says, "I became a police officer to help people and to protect those who can't protect themselves. It is never my intention to harm anyone, and I feel very bad about the death of Mr. Garner. My family and I include him and his family in our prayers, and I hope that they will accept my personal condolences for their loss."
The crowd, when I first arrived, was much smaller than what you see right now, and it's been slowly growing here. There's a lot of people in New York, obviously, that are monitoring this case carefully, as well as nationwide.
They went for nothing. They monitoring this case tonight. They ain't doing nothing about it, and they like killed my son, and this son of a bitch walking home and go on with his family. That ain't went for damn to me.
And again, obviously, that is Ben Carr, the stepfather for Eric Garner. Did you have faith in the system at all during this process?
Absolutely not.
The big thing is this announcement comes down a week and a half after Ferguson, Missouri, and what we saw there with the Michael Brown case, and the officer not indicted in that case as well. So obviously, as we know, a lot of people just very frustrated to see that back to back.
That's a very interesting shot. These people are lying down. Essentially, they are acting like they are dead in protest. Look at that police officer walking through them. Very interesting. And by the way, just feet from all these people lying down, police officers moving through them, you have commuters just trying to make the 521. This is a really almost surreal scene at Grand Central Station.
Garner's sister said the family plans on heading out to the tree lighting around 7 p.m. to stop any celebration, because right now they are definitely not celebrating.
And we just got an email from the NAACP, the president and CEO, Cornell William Brooks, who said, "We're deeply disappointed in the grand jury's decision not to indict." Now, this is in part. He goes on to say, "While we're frustrated, we are not defeated. The grand jury's decision does not mean a crime was not committed."
Everyone who hears my voice, your blood is just like mine. We all bleed red.
Just tell us, why did you feel you needed to come out today after this decision?
I felt that I need to come here today because I want to see my people unite.
It's a very painful day for so many New Yorkers. That is the core reality. So many people in the city are feeling pain right now.
It's an indescribable pain. Like, it's just an empty feeling, and it's like I couldn't be in solitude feeling like this. I had to get with like-minded people and just like show that we matter.
There is a lot of security, metal barricades everywhere. Where we are on West 51st Street, you cannot drive a car down here. You can only walk on the sidewalks.
And you've heard all of our reporters mention, they're talking about social media and how this has been trending. But the protests and information about them, not just in our area, but really all over the country. I want to show you something that was tweeted out a short time ago. This is a trend map. And again, I don't know if you can see the words really, really well the way I've got it up here right now. But if you look across the country, you can see that, we're seeing indictment. These are hashtags. These are words that are trending. Garner, chokehold, jury.
It's certainly been a long, difficult, and heartbreaking day for this family. And the final stop on their agenda for tonight is coming here to the National Action Network.
All right, breaking news right now here on Pix 11. The Justice Department launching an investigation into the chokehold death of Eric Garner. Let's listen in to Attorney General Eric Holder.
Our prosecutors will conduct an independent, thorough, fair, and expeditious investigation.
Some of Garner's final words were, "I can't breathe." We've watched that video over and over again. Well, tonight in New York, that is one of the chants.
Hands up, can't breathe! Hands up, can't breathe!
The emotion that many people have felt in the wake of this decision has spilled out into the streets, starting at Union Square and then spreading throughout the city.
If you do not remove yourself from the roadway, you will be placed under arrest.
And we do have a different group of protesters that are causing trouble out on the West Side Highway. They have been blocking and delaying traffic there. Hundreds of people weaving down the street, stopping cars. We've just heard that traffic is at a total standstill.
Eric Garner's widow, she deeply considered that apology offered by Officer Daniel Pantaleo, and her response was clear.
Hell no. The time for remorse would have been when my husband was yelling to breathe. That would have been the time for him to show some type of remorse or some type of care for another human being's life when he was screaming 11 times that he can't breathe.
You were in Ferguson the same time when the same kind of decision came down there, and what a difference.
There were so many people who saw what happened in Ferguson and, in hindsight, realized that that was not a productive response.
All right, breaking news for you. The West Side Highway, a parking lot right now, thanks to hundreds, if not thousands, of protesters. This video here you're looking at was taken less than 5 minutes ago out there.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a cat and mouse with police and protesters. As soon as they got to the West Side Highway, they've been switching sides, heading uptown. They've been heading downtown.
So with regard to arrests, we told you there have been arrests. The number's still standing at just about 30.
Some of the protesters using an obscene gesture toward the helicopter. In fact, the mass group of them doing that.
Some people who wanted to see the tree lighting could not access it due to the protest.
You know, there's oftentimes we would say everyone's talking about the story. Literally, everybody is talking about the story.
It's a game changer.
We're going to go ahead and check in now at the base of the Brooklyn Bridge. Ayanna Harry has been out there all night long.
A police officer just came up to our van a few minutes ago and gave us the heads up that the thousands of people who are in Foley Square, just about a block or two away, are headed this way.
Waiting, I guess, for protesters. It looked like they were coming from that growing crowd in Foley Square at some point to walk over.
All right,
to
there's
Brooklyn.
the picture of Foley Square, and that presumably would be the crowd that heads towards Ayanna in just a little bit. This is going to be the biggest crowd to date,
no
obviously.
question.
Look at that. And it's growing.
Dozens are rallying in downtown Newark right now. They want justice for Eric Garner, and they want justice for Michael Brown. They are asking motorists as they drive on by to honk their horns to participate in this rally.
More than 4,000 people now here at Foley Square.
That's a group of people actually walking from Brooklyn to Manhattan. Those people are rallying with other people over in Foley Square.
They've been handing out these flyers throughout the day saying all in for justice for Eric Garner.
We don't want to be violent. We don't want to tear up our own town, but we want to have a voice and let people know that this is not tolerable.
Her words are incredible words, and especially for her being at the helm of organizing something like that. So many people and so peaceful and with a real reason.
The NYPD has announced that they're going to be putting body cameras. Do you think that's going to be an impactful move here in the future with officers having body cameras?
You know, maybe last week I would have thought so when people started talking about it. But after this, no.
We have been tracking several groups of protesters all over Manhattan. Union Square, Foley Square. They messed with traffic on the FDR and at the Holland Tunnel. They went to the Staten Island Ferry, and at least for a while, they managed to shut down the Brooklyn Bridge. Well, we followed them to all of those places, and those thousands of people are still on the move tonight.
Well, Jonna Tamsin, we were in Times Square. We're now heading south, going down 7th Avenue. You know, there's a component here. We've been hearing for the last 24 hours about the diversity of the crowd. And I must tell you that there is certainly an Occupy Wall Street component in this crowd, where for the first time, you know, a couple of years ago, we heard mic check, and that's the way that they would spread the message. There are so many young people here, and that is the means of communication, in addition to this being 2014, where you've got people texting. Someone just received a text 30 seconds ago saying we're leaving Times Square and going to Herald Square.
We would see caravans of police officers with their sirens blaring, trying to get to the next location because these protesters are so quick. They are on the move, able to get around the city.
Of course, we are getting more information tonight. We've just learned about 250 people are on the Manhattan Bridge, so we are monitoring that situation.
The diversity in this crowd, where you have kids from the suburbs, white, black, Asian, Latino, and otherwise. out here astonished that this grand jury could come out with this decision. A lot of people disagree with it, but what you see out here through all of these young people is a mass expression of we are not happy with what happened here.
Do we know where they're heading and where they want to go next? Are they converging on one area in particular?
It would appear that we're heading back to Times Square. There is no quote-unquote leadership here. We just have a lot of people who are armed with cell phones who are communicating via Twitter, communicating. Okay, we've got someone on a car. And I'm guessing they don't have permission to be on that car, but you know what? Things like this they were bound to happen.
We're looking at Times Square right now, but following Jay Dow, who has been with those protesters. He's right there. Jay, tell us what's going on, because it looks like things are moving around a bit.
Well, I'm afraid I spoke too soon, Tamsin. We got to Times Square, and this crowd stood in the middle of the intersection of 42nd Street and Broadway. And obviously, the police were not trying to have that. And we've had several arrests. We've had several people who have been snatched out of this crowd. And we've had several people saying, you know what, this is not the way it was supposed to happen.
We're going to cover this protest much more. We have some video we want to show you now from the air. This is the scene right around Times Square. And as you can see, it's a sea of protesters and a sea of policemen.
Yeah, that is the area we were just hearing from Jay Dow when he was on the ground there. That's where everyone was kind of converging, and he said there were some problems starting.
Jay, you're standing in a much better place than you were when we saw you just a few minutes ago. What's the latest? Has it calmed down at all?
Yes, it has calmed down. The police have managed to clear the intersection here at 42nd and 7th. TC, let's see if we can give them a pan shot of what we're looking at here. Just a few minutes ago, we were standing there surrounded by people. A lot of arrests were taking place, and we're still hearing police officers ask for more zip ties to bring people in. But we're going to pan you around, and you can see that the street has been cleared here, looking all the way southbound on 7th Avenue. The hope is that what these people out here were trying to accomplish tonight by making a statement will last through tonight and into tomorrow.
Some more people will be arrested out there.
That's right. All right, well, it's going to do it for us at 10 o'clock. Again, dozens of arrests tonight. We'll continue to follow this all night long and have everything on the protest for you in the morning as well.